to a new entrepreneurial company in Chicago. And Mesro is very proud to partner with the Chamber in doing this. It was Jerry Roper who approached Eve and myself not long after Jim passed away and asked if it was possible to honor him with an award that would go to small entrepreneurs. And Jim's memory has been honored in a number of ways. And I don't think he would be more pleased than to be honored with this award, because he was so committed to the city, so committed to civic endeavors and philanthropy in the city. And he felt very strongly that the real success of the city was to really engage small businesses. They're so critical to our community. He also felt strongly that business leaders not only have a responsibility to lead their companies to profitability, but also to be engaged in the community and be philanthropic as well. And we certainly see a lot of evidence of that. The Tyree Emerging Business Leadership Award was really created to recognize and encourage our region's small businesses to continue to grow and create jobs for the Chicagoland region. You heard about it from the mayor earlier. Certainly Tony Preckwinkle, our president of the county board, is so committed to that as well. And we had an award winner last year, the first ever, which was an amazing entrepreneurial story. If you remember, the 2012 award winner was Matt Matros, who was the founder and CEO of Protein Bar. With his own personal savings and the simple idea of trying to create a healthy meal alternative for people, Matt started the business with one store near Franklin and Adams. Today he has over a dozen stores, and within the last year he has opened 3 new stores in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area. And Protein Bar has become one of the Chicago area's greatest success stories. This year, the Tyree Award website really saw almost 2,000 site visits. Had outreached over 1,000 companies. It resulted in 30 companies submitting applications for consideration. And consideration for the award has a number of different things that establish the criteria for being able to win the award. The applicants this year came from a pretty broad range: professional services, technology, finance, and food services. To be considered, the criteria, as I just mentioned, is pretty specific. They have to be from the 6-county metropolitan area. They have to be have been in business for a minimum of 3 years. Revenues of at least $250,000, but something less than $15 million, and have demonstrated substantial growth over the previous 3 years. In other words, we want something that's going to be sustainable, and we want to give this award to be able to really continue that growth and maybe take them to a place faster than they might have gotten to themselves. They have to have at least 5 employees, and more importantly, they need to be active in regional, civic, and philanthropic endeavors. The Small Business Development Resource Center staff reviewed all of the applicants and came up with 5 finalists. And before I begin to mention them, I'd like Eve to join me on stage. This year was one of the judges for the finalists and had a pretty strong influence, even though she doesn't know who the winner is, pretty strong influence on really looking at the companies and looking at the criteria to make sure that they met it. The 5 finalists, as I mentioned, were AuctionsByCellular, Jim Alvarez, Shelley Young and the Chopping Block, Daniel Herzik and Jason Whedon, Gourmet Gorilla, David Frank from Somercore 504, and Jeremy Smith from Spot Hero. And before announcing the award winner, I'd like you to give all of the finalists a round of applause. It's hard to believe that I'm the only one that knows who the winner is, but Scott Swanson has assured me that the judges don't even know who won the award. Okay. I want to thank all of our judges. I think it's important for the judges to weigh in on this. They had a tremendous task of selecting the winner from among these great companies. And I'd like to just recognize the judges, if I could. Mark Anderson, who's the Director of Local U.S. Markets for Accenture and a Director of the Chamber. Michael Arndt, he's the Editor of Crane's Chicago Business, which served as our media partner, by the way, for the Tyree Award. John DeVore, the Managing Director at Wintrust and a Director of the Chamber. Matt Matros, who was last year's award winner, which I thought was great for him to join the judging. John Rico, the CEO of Rico Enterprises and a Director of the Chamber. And Jerry Roper, of course, the President and CEO of the Chamber. This year, as I mentioned, we were especially honored to have Eve as a judge as well. So we want to thank you for being here today, and we're going to get right to announcing the award. Again, the committee made their decision based on 4 criteria: financial performance, civic and charitable involvement, very, very important, innovation, growth, and scalability, and company leadership. And I'm proud to announce that the winner of the Tyree Award, which again, as Jerry mentioned, Scott mentioned, $25,000 in cash and $25,000 in in-kind services, is AuctionsByCellular. Woo!
Thank you so much. I just want to say that being an entrepreneur is scary. We take a lot of risks. And I want to acknowledge the other 4 finalists and say, you know, without us taking risks, the city wouldn't be able to grow. And so thank you for, you know, being in a category with us, and thank you for taking those risks. Let me briefly tell you about AuctionsByCellular. I started in 2011, and we talk about risks. And this man on my right, Phil Crutchfield, he took a huge risk. He was making a great living as a salesperson, and he decided to jump on board and help me with charities. Since 2011, we've been able to help over 600 events throughout the nation. We have teams in 14 different cities, and we've proudly helped charities raise over $50 million. Charities like Ronald McDonald, Make-A-Wish, even United Airlines. And something that we're super proud of is that our charity partners have on many occasions told us that we've helped them double, triple, even quadruple how much they're used to raising. So if you think about that, we've been able to help them raise $50 million. So without us, with our help, we've actually helped charities raise an additional $20 million in just 2 short years. We would never have been able to do this without 3 key things. One is our team that's sitting back there at table 77. These guys are some of the best team you could ever have. I say that because we don't make any money. And it's tough to find talent when you don't pay anybody. We work long hours, just like everybody else, but it's the team that sets the tone for AuctionsByCellular. 2 is our family and our wives. Without having the support of our parents and having the latitude that our wives give us to be able to work these crazy hours, we would never be here. Most entrepreneurs, they work long hours during the night, during the week, during the night. But in the charity business, we have to work those same long hours during the week, during the night, but then we also have to run charity events on Fridays and Saturday nights. So there's like a 2-hour window on Saturday afternoons and Sundays that we get to spend with our family. But and then the third thing that I've been saying for pretty much my whole life is 5 words that we live by. And we say them a lot at AuctionsByCellular. And the 5 words are, we will figure it out. And I'll just tell you a couple quick stories. Is that the very first event we ever sold was in 2011 for Rush Hospital. And I remember calling my wife and my sister-in-law saying, hey, we're going to go help a charity next weekend. I need your help. And we're going to help guests register. We're going to help them bid. We're going to help them check out and pay for their items. And they looked at me and said, how the heck are we going to do that? And I said, well, we have 10 days, so we'll figure it out. And after that event for Rush Hospital, they hired us on the spot to run all their events. And so since then, we've helped run over 15 events for Rush Hospital. A couple months later, I double booked myself for a huge meeting with Ronald McDonald House and a site survey for the Western Golf Association. Well, there's no way I could cancel either one. And so I had to reach out to one of my friends, Clint, who doesn't even work for AuctionsByCellular. And I said, listen, I know you work near the Peninsula Hotel. I need you to do a site survey for the Western Golf Association, and I got to jump into a meeting, so I'll good luck. And I hung up. And I walked into the meeting with Ronald McDonald, and he called me right away. And I said, Clint, I'm in the meeting. What? He goes, what's a site survey? And I said, well, we'll figure it out. Go ahead and do it. And then 6 months after that, we had two gentlemen from Denver, Gary and Dave, call us and say, hey, we heard about AuctionsByCellular, and we want to work with you guys in Denver. And I said, fantastic, why don't you come out to our offices in Chicago, and next week, and we'll train you, we'll get you up to speed, and we'll have you open up the Denver market for us. Right away, I called Phil and Bree, and I said, this is awesome, we're going to be able to open up the Denver market. We're going to put these guys through our training process in our offices, and next week. And they said, well, two things. One, we've never hired anybody, so we don't have a training program. And more importantly, we don't have an office. We work out of our basement. And so I said, we have a week, we'll figure it out. And I convinced one of my friends to give his employees a day off, and we overtook his office and ran the meeting there. And it was amazing. And then just 2 months ago, we decided that we're going to just raise money for the very first time. Phil and I had bootstrapped this company with ourselves through cash flow of the business, and we decided that because we've had success in 14 other markets that we want to take this nationwide. And so to do that, we have to raise money. And we'll be the first to tell you that we've never done this. We have no idea how to do that. And so about 2 months ago, we hired a CFO from Atlanta that's a Kellogg MBA to help us down this path. And my team is sitting over there saying, well, how are we going to pay this guy? And the other three things I mentioned didn't involve any money. Well, obviously paying a CFO involves some money. So I just want to say we figured it out today. Thank you so much.